about someone who had a $50,000 performance bonus. Talking about the problem. He was on our show. What was it, last week or 2 weeks ago? We're so pumped to have him back on, from UFC Paris winner, the problem, Chris Duncan.
What's up, man?
How we doing? All right?
Chris, what's up, brother? Congratulations, man.
Thank you.
I loved that emotional video that was shared when you found out about the 50K. Can you talk about that emotional moment for us?
Well, we went out for some food, so I was in a kebab shop, believe it or not. And when I walked into the kebab shop, they'd actually been playing my fight. So I have a video as well of them watching me fight, and then me standing videoing it, and then they're all cheering when I got my hand raised. And then not long after that, we sat down to have our thing, and we were like trying to figure out if it was a fucking dream or not. So after that, obviously, 50K is life-changing money for my family. So I couldn't hold it back.
What's the plan with the 50K? Like, what are you gonna do with it?
I'll need to invest in it in something.
There you go.
Move the family to Florida, maybe?
Yeah, that would probably be a good idea. Get some sunshine for real. I'm already going pale back here.
I love that. Chris, to me, the ending was really funky. Like, from watching it from afar, he did look out. Like, he actually looked out longer than what I even think maybe you or the ref knew. He was limp for a while. Did you feel it? Did you notice? Of course, it's not your job to stop doing your choke. It was a funky finish. How did it feel to you?
When did you realize he was out?
I didn't realize he was out until I was shouting to the ref. But
really,
I submit a lot of people with that sort of submission in the gym. I've got some moves that I enjoy and some techniques that I enjoy, and I stick with it a lot. And I do catch people now and again with arm and guillotines and all that sort of stuff. So it's quite a position for me that I enjoy. But in the moment, when I pulled full guard, I don't tend to do that unless I think I've got it completely cinched up. I tend to go half guard, because then I can end up sweeping and coming up on top if it's failed. But I went full guard because I thought it was in. And when I was squeezing, I was like, oh my God, this is tight. He's done. And then about 10 seconds in, he hadn't tapped. And I was like, every person I have trained with who I've tapped with this is tapped by now. Why is this guy not tapping? And then he put a little bit of doubt in my head. So I kept squeezing. And then Thiago said to me, he's like, Chris, if it's not on, mate, you need to move on. So then I let go of his head, covered his head so he didn't posture up right away, and then tried to punch. And I was holding onto his head to kind of like, hopefully for him to posture up, so then I can get my hands on his shoulders, my feet in his hips, and then start building back to my feet. Then when I took my hand off the back of his head, he didn't posture up. So I thought, right, this guy's resting. I'm going to punch him and get him to move. So I gave him like 2 punches like that. And then in that moment, I realized like the weight on top of me was like just like a dead body. So that's when I knew he was out. So obviously I took him to the bitter end, and he never tapped.
That is crazy.
Dude.
And I'm sorry, girls, you guys have next 5 questions with Chris. The one jumped at me right away. Can you speak to the audience and tell people why Thiago Alves, one of the greats, right? An MMA legend, great coach. Why would he tell you to, move away from it? Because I always hear, and I'm a novice, Chris. They say like you can burn out your arms trying to guillotine someone forever, right? Like, is that why a coach will tell you like, hey, move on to a different attribute?
Yeah, because you can hang on to something and you might think you have it, but this guy might have just a little bit of space within his neck or whatever. So the next move was move on. And I don't tend to hold on to things that I don't have. And I did hang on to this one a bit longer because I did think I had it, because I remember feeling his actual esophagus on my wrist. And I remember feeling his jawline. And it was like, I was almost 12 out of 10 set that it was in. And then when he hadn't tapped, I was thinking to myself, God, this guy's tough. Like, why is this guy not tapped? So Then that's when I started to move on, and I hold my hands up. Thank fuck he tapped, because when the ref was holding my hands, my arms were super tired. So thank fuck for that.
That's awesome. Well, it paid off, that's for sure.
Yeah, for sure, in full.
Yeah, literally, yeah. So you've been on the UFC roster for 4 years now, Contender Series back in 2021, and
Yep.
you've just continuously created a name for yourself. Where do you see yourself in the next 4 years?
To be honest, I just need to get a couple more fights under my belt. You know, I'm still a baby in the game. I have a lot of things that I need to improve on, and I'm always improving. I don't see why I should never not improve. And I'm just going to take it fight by fight. The goal is now to start attacking that top 10 number. So I just need to continually win fights, and that's the only thing I can do. That's the only job I need to do. I don't need to do anything else. I don't need to be doing anything over and above. It's just work hard, train harder, and be more disciplined. So there's a lot of things I've done over the last kind of couple of years, or the last year really, just to be a better athlete. And like this time around, you know, I'm not like last time as well. After I came out of my loss at Mexico, I didn't actually overindulge in food right away. And it's the same this time. You know, I'm going to try and keep my weight down as low as possible, because I'm a really big 155er, and I struggle to make the weight sometimes. I took this fight on 5 weeks' notice, and it was a bit of a struggle. I cut a fair bit of weight. It just is what it is, but we got the job done, and move on to the next one.
You brought up the weight cut, so I have to ask if your experience was at all similar to Brendan Allen or Moicano's. We heard a lot of fighters coming out after Brendan Allen made his big statement about the unfair treatment of some of the foreign fighters. What was your experience in France? I know you didn't fight a French guy, but you did fight a guy who seemed to have more of the crowd on his side. So
yeah.
Thoughts?
I think I was very lucky that I was at the bottom of the card, so I didn't end up getting all that. But those guys had to sit in the weighing in room and the medical room and finish all their shakes and then wait like 3 hours before they could pee, which is insane.
Oh no.
Sorry about that.
No worries. You're
There you are.
No worries. Got a call.
It's just so I don't miss your interview. I remember them sitting and they were down there for like 3 or 4 hours before they could pee, and I think that was extremely unfair. Was very lucky. I kind of seen it happening. I seen them sitting and them kind of arguing, so I did take myself to the side, and just kind of hid and didn't really say much, and I got away with it. But you know, the medical team were saying, "Oh, do you want Chris?" And they were like, "No, he's okay to go." I was like, "Thank fuck for that."
I love it.
Your guy wasn't French enough, so
Yeah. It wasn't French enough. It wasn't. To me, mixed martial arts is the most, 1v1. It's, I know golf is by yourself, but there's nothing like being in a cage with another man the same weight, and only one man is going to get their hand raised, and some really horrible shit can happen if you lose, right? Some real stuff. But as a team, American Top Team had a hell of a time over there in France. Guys in the prelims, of course, the main event, Moicano in the same division had a big win. Does it help you? Do you kind of feel a little bit of teamism? How is it you kind of, seems like American Top Team had a great weekend, long story short.
Yeah, definitely. You know, like we hung about together. We had coffees. We were in the sauna together. You know, it was a good environment to be around. And to be totally honest with you, American Top Team has changed my life completely. It's changed the way I think about MMA. It's changed the way I approach MMA. And I'm very lucky and fortunate to be able to have that team on by my side. So, yeah, it was a fantastic week for us.
Do you have any predictions on Grant Dawson versus Garcia in 10 days?
Submission. Grant round 3 submission. That was what I would put on. If we were allowed to bet, that's what I would put on.
All right.
Okay. I'd prefer round 1. But
yeah.
Me too. So that's the same. Like I was saying to my fiance there just the other day, I was watching my training partner Robert Whiteford fight on PFL. He was the co-main event. He fought Roger Huerta. And not that I don't believe in his skill set, but I was so nervous for him. Like, I just wanted him to do well, and I was shouting at the phone in the middle of a restaurant like a little girl. Like, I was screaming, and it's like anybody you're involved with. It's like, especially in fighting, you get a bond with people because you end up fighting each other really in the gym. So you grow a bond with these people. So you really want to see them do well. So that's probably going to be me in 2 weeks' time watching Grant's fight. So
how stressed does your fiance get?
I'm the same way, Chris. With Grant fighting, I'm the same way. I scream like a girl the whole time.
Might as well be in there with them, right?
I know.
Well,
I kind of am.
I think what it is when we go in there, we're in control, so we don't have the nerves. Whereas you don't have control over anybody else's.
Anything.
You know, so and what you said, my missus, she hates watching it, to be honest. Like when the Contender Series came to film my UFC debut, she was at the in the crowd, but she watched the fight like this. So it was a waste of time for her. But this time around, she was super busy with the two kids. She's been running Fort back home when I've been away on my holidays in American Top Team, and when my fight was on, she was having to look after the kids and get them ready for dinner, and our friends text her, "Well done, he's won," and then she's like, "Oh, thank God."
Sometimes that's better. Like, oh, nice.
That's awesome.
I love it. Well, we love our fans. We got good comments about you, Chris, and a couple of good questions. Then we'll let you run, my man. They go, nice choke for the victory. Nice shiner. We got another one. Unreal fight, Chris. Great restraint on the finish. This guy right here
was from my girlfriend when I got home.
Oh, come on.
They go, ask Chris, that post in the haters DMs were spot on fire. Tell Chris.
Yeah, for sure. Fuck them. That's all I've got to say.
That's awesome.
I love it. Our guy Dawson goes, with a finish like that, how soon do you want to be back in the cage?
Well, to be honest, I've got my sister's wedding in February, so that would be something that I would need to. That's probably the only thing I'll need to kind of plan for. So maybe early Christmas, like maybe December, or maybe get Christmas out the road and fight just before my sister's wedding. But I've not even thought about it yet. I've spent a lot of time, and I went through a bit of a rough patch. Like, I had to go back to work there for a little bit, so I was a bit fucking pissed off about that. And then I had to just up and leave my family. So I think probably when I get my son's passport in the post this week, we're gonna go and book a holiday. We're going to enjoy a holiday, and I'm not going to think about fighting, and I'm not going to watch videos about fighting. I'm just going to turn my phone off or turn my notifications off on my phone and just dial into the family time, and then we'll start thinking about it then. But from now until then, I'm just going to zone out, because previously, I'm always desperate to get in and go in and do it again, and I'm trying to take leaves out of other people's book, like my friend Robert Whiteford. As soon as he's done training, he's had his fight, he takes about a week and a half off. So I've not done that. I was back training today, but it's just I enjoy training. That's not the big thing. It's more about the fighting, and to be totally honest with you, having that 50k in the oncoming, it's going to be coming into my bank is a little nest egg for me. Though I'll never need to worry about money for a long time. It's like
it's a nice cushion.
Yeah, for sure. I'm not a big spender. I'll not go out and buy stupid stuff. I'll probably invest my money. And I'll
just get a little something for the missus. Just a little.
Well, I've already said, but she doesn't want it, so I think we'll just maybe do something on holiday, or do an extra wee, like if we go on holiday for 7 days and we come back, we could maybe go to Disneyland, or we could do something like that.
There we go. Now we're talking.
So we'll see. She'll get something.
I love it, man. So pumped. Hey, we're big fans of you, Chris, from afar. And then we appreciate the last 3 weeks you came on the show. Very happy for you and your success. And man, we'll talk soon, brother. Cannot wait.
No, thank you. Thanks for having us, guys. Cheers.
Thanks,
Cheers.
Chris.
Later, Chris.
See you guys.
Chris
Bye.
Duncan, the
Bye.
problem.
Bye.
There we go. Man, what a stud. What a